Welcome to another deep dive. Sometimes the internet just delivers like pure gold.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened when you shared this Reddit thread with us.
Oh, yeah.
People sharing their biggest career regrets.
It's juicy.
And wow, is there a lot to unpack here?
Lots to unpack.
And so get ready for some serious aha moments, folks, because we're going to explore the recurring themes, the unexpected twists, and hopefully help you reflect on your own career journey.
Exactly.
What
do you think? Yeah. I mean, it's fascinating to see just the sheer range of responses. We're
Right.
talking about everything from staying too long in a job to not pursuing passions to even, more complex issues like missing opportunities due to societal issues. Like, it really highlights how individual and unique our career paths can be.
Yeah, and some of these were pretty gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
One woman, a cardiologist, talked about constantly feeling like she didn't belong at the table, despite like incredible achievements.
Oh, wow.
She even mentioned struggling with this feeling at a prestigious Ivy League university. So what are your thoughts on that?
It's a classic example of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
It's incredibly common, especially amongst high achievers.
Really?
They'll often downplay their successes, attribute them to luck or external factors rather than their own skills and hard work.
Oh, wow.
It's almost as if they can't internalize their accomplishments and give themselves the credit they deserve.
And it's not just, feeling like an imposter.
Right.
Another person regretted not learning Spanish, saying it limited their ability to connect with colleagues and even potentially limited their career options.
Oh, interesting.
Have you seen that a lot? That feeling of missing out on opportunities due to language barriers?
Absolutely. I mean, language can be a significant barrier, especially in today's globalized world,
Right.
It's not just about basic communication. It's about cultural understanding, building relationships, and even accessing information and resources.
There's one quote from the thread that really struck me. Someone wrote, "Not learning Spanish when I was younger. I have so many coworkers over the years that I would like to talk to that I can't."
Yeah.
It's a poignant reminder that we live in an interconnected world and language can either open doors or close them.
For sure. And that actually connects to a broader theme that emerged from the Reddit thread. This idea of regret stemming from a lack of agency, a sense of being stuck or limited in one's career path.
Okay, so let's dig into that.
Yeah.
What are some of the factors that contribute to this feeling of being stuck?
Well, we've already touched on imposter syndrome,
Right.
which can certainly play a role.
Yeah.
If you constantly doubt your abilities, you're less likely to take risks or pursue opportunities that could lead to growth and advancement.
Makes sense.
But it's not just internal factors. Societal conditioning can also have a huge impact.
It's almost like there's this unspoken pressure to follow certain paths, particularly for women and minorities.
Yeah.
Like there are only certain careers that are considered acceptable or suitable.
Exactly. These societal expectations can be incredibly limiting, often steering people away from their true passions and talents. And then years later, we see those regrets emerge.
One comment really highlighted this. It said, "I did not go into either of the two fields I was interested in, acting or military, young, because anecdotally I heard about all of the sexual harassment and assault that women faced with no recourse prior to the Me Too movement. So I regret that society was more shitty when I was starting out."
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder that career decisions aren't always made in a vacuum. They're influenced by a complex web of social and cultural factors.
It's crucial to acknowledge that privilege and access play a huge role in shaping career trajectories.
Right.
We can't just assume that everyone has equal opportunities or that success is solely based on merit.
Right.
Systemic biases and inequalities can create significant roadblocks leading to regret and a sense of missed potential.
That brings us to another common dilemma that popped up throughout the thread, the tension between pursuing passions and seeking financial stability. It's the classic heart versus head struggle.
Right. Absolutely. It's a universal struggle, and there's no easy answer.
Right.
Some people prioritize passion and purpose, even if it means taking financial risks, while others prioritize stability and security, even if it means sacrificing some of their dreams.
It's almost like we're conditioned to believe that we have to choose one or the other.
Right. Yeah.
But is it really an either situation? Are there ways to find a balance, to pursue a career that is both fulfilling and financially sustainable?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think the answer is different for everyone.
Right.
It requires a deep understanding of your values, your skills, and your risk tolerance. One interesting concept that comes to mind is ikigai.
Ikigai.
It's a Japanese philosophy that essentially means a reason for being.
Okay.
It's often represented as a Venn diagram with 4 overlapping circles: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for.
So finding your Ikigai is about finding that sweet spot where your passions, skills, values, and economic realities kind of all intersect.
Exactly, and it's not about finding one perfect job for life. It's about continuously exploring and evolving as you gain experience, learn new skills, and discover new passions.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a much more fluid and dynamic approach to career development than the traditional find your dream job and stick with it mentality.
For sure.
Speaking of evolving, the Reddit thread also highlighted the importance of continuous learning. So many people expressed regret for not investing in their skills or staying up to date with industry trends.
Yeah, that's a crucial point in today's rapidly changing job market. Complacency can be a career killer, you know?
Right.
It's not enough to just rely on the skills and knowledge you acquired in school or early in your career. You have to be a lifelong learner.
One commenter put it perfectly, pursuing a career that's stable and not creative or risky because it's a safe path. You are doing your job 8 hours a day. Do something you are passionate about and not because it's the safe way. It's a powerful reminder that comfort zones can quickly become cages, especially in our careers.
Yeah, and that brings us to another important element that emerged from the Reddit thread: risk-taking.
Oh, yeah.
So many people regretted playing it too safe, not taking chances, and letting fear hold them back.
Yeah, there's this one story that's been stuck in my head ever since I read this thread.
Oh, really?
Someone mentioned meeting a billionaire startup founder at a networking event,
Wow.
but was too intimidated to follow up.
Oh, no.
Like, can you imagine the potential opportunities that might have been missed because of fear or self-doubt?
It's a classic example of how our internal narratives can sabotage our success.
Oh, yeah.
We often overestimate the potential negative consequences of taking a risk while underestimating the potential rewards.
So how do we overcome that fear and start taking those calculated risks that could lead to career breakthroughs?
It starts with shifting our mindset.
I-
Instead of viewing risk as something to be avoided at all costs, we need to reframe it as an opportunity for growth and learning.
I like that.
Even if the outcome isn't what we hoped for, the experience itself can be incredibly valuable.
That's so true. And even if things don't go exactly as planned, we can learn from those experiences and apply those lessons to future endeavors. It's all part of the journey.
Absolutely. Every setback, every misstep can be reframed as a valuable learning experience.
Okay, so we've talked about finding that sweet spot between passion and stability, the importance of continuous learning, and the power of calculated risk-taking.
Yeah.
What other gems can we extract from this Reddit thread of career confessions?
Well, one theme that might seem counterintuitive but is incredibly important is prioritizing well-being.
Okay.
So many regrets stem from burnout, stress, neglecting personal relationships, and sacrificing health for the sake of career advancement.
One comment that really resonated with me said, working in advertising in my 20s and letting long hours and late nights take over my life, none of it was worth it. Time is the best resource you have, and don't waste it working. It's a stark reminder that a fulfilling career should enhance our lives, not consume them.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between professional ambition and personal well-being. It's about creating a life that feels sustainable and joyful, not just chasing external markers of success at the expense of our health and happiness.
So how do we avoid falling into that trap? How do we ensure that we're not sacrificing our well-being on the altar of career ambition?
It starts with setting boundaries both at work and in our personal lives.
Okay.
It's about learning to say no to requests that drain our energy or compromise our values. And it's about prioritizing self-care, making time for activities that nourish our minds, bodies, and souls.
It's almost like we need to treat our well-being as a non-negotiable, not something we squeeze in if we have time left over after work.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that our well-being is the foundation upon which everything else is built.
Now, before we move on, I have to ask, you've clearly spent a lot of time thinking about career development and helping people find their path.
Yeah.
Did anything in this Reddit thread surprise you?
You know, I wasn't surprised by the specific regrets themselves, as they're common themes I encounter in my work.
Okay.
What struck me was the universality of these experiences.
Oh, interesting.
It doesn't matter your age, background, or industry. We all grapple with these same fundamental questions about purpose, meaning, and fulfillment in our careers. It's a human experience, not just a professional one.
That's such a powerful insight, and it really underscores the value of these kinds of conversations. By sharing our experiences, both the triumphs and the regrets, we can learn from each other. support each other and hopefully navigate our career journeys with a little more wisdom and a lot less regret. It's amazing how these personal stories, even the ones filled with regret, can offer so much wisdom and insight. It's like having a window into the collective soul of the workforce, you
Yeah,
know?
I completely agree. And by reflecting on these shared experiences, we can start to identify patterns, glean valuable lessons, and hopefully make more informed choices in our own career journeys.
Okay, so let's shift gears for a moment and talk about action. We've unpacked these regrets, we've explored the underlying themes, and now I want to know, what can our listeners do right now to build a more fulfilling career, one that hopefully minimizes those "I wish I had" moments down the road?
Well, if we look back at the Reddit thread, it practically provides a blueprint for action. We see people regretting not speaking up, not taking risks, not prioritizing their well-being. These regrets can actually guide us toward what we should be doing.
So it's like those regrets are little signposts pointing us in the right direction. I
Hmm.
love that. Okay, so let's break it down based on everything we've discussed. What's the first step our listeners can take?
The first step is simple yet often overlooked: advocate for yourself. So many people regretted not speaking up for themselves, whether it was asking for a raise, negotiating a better work-life balance, or even expressing their true career aspirations.
There was that one comment that really stuck with me. Someone who stayed in a job they hated for 16 years, but used that time to earn degrees and certificates. They eventually leveraged that to find a better job. But imagine if they had advocated for themselves earlier on.
Exactly. It's about recognizing your own worth and not being afraid to ask for what you deserve, whether it's a promotion, a flexible work arrangement, or even just the opportunity to take on a new challenge. You have to be willing to articulate your needs and goals.
Advocate for yourself, got it. What's next on the action plan?
Step two is all about embracing continuous learning. The world of work is constantly evolving. New technologies, our emerging industries are being disrupted, and those who are adaptable and willing to learn new skills will have a significant advantage.
It's like that person who regretted not learning Spanish. Think of how many more doors might have opened, both personally and professionally, if they had invested the time and effort to learn a new language.
It's not just about formal education either. It could be taking online courses, attending workshops, listening to podcasts, reading industry publications, or even shadowing a colleague in a different department. The key is to cultivate a mindset of curiosity and a commitment to lifelong learning.
So step one, advocate for yourself. Step two, embrace continuous learning. What's step three? Don't keep us in suspense.
Step three is about stepping outside of that comfort zone and taking calculated risks. Now, I'm not saying to go jumping out of airplanes or making reckless decisions. It's about being strategic and discerning, but also being willing to push past fear and self-doubt to pursue opportunities that could lead to growth and fulfillment.
I keep thinking back to that story about the person who met the billionaire startup founder but didn't follow up. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest risk is not taking any risks at all.
Absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in what ifs and worst case scenarios, but often those fears are far more exaggerated in our minds than in reality.
So step three, take calculated risks. What's the final step in our action plan?
The final step might seem counterintuitive in the context of career advancement, but it's crucial. Prioritize your well-being. So many regrets in that Reddit thread were tied to burnout stress and neglecting personal relationships for the sake of work.
One commenter said, "Working in advertising in my 20s and letting long hours and late nights take over my life, none of it was worth it. Time is the best resource you have, and don't waste it working." It's a powerful reminder that we can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. It's about creating a sustainable rhythm for your life, one that allows you to pursue your professional goals without sacrificing your health, happiness, and the relationships that matter most.
So there you have it, 4 powerful steps to create a more fulfilling career, inspired by the wisdom and regrets of real people who've walked the path before us. Advocate for yourself, embrace continuous learning, take calculated risks, and prioritize your well-being. That's a recipe for success, both professionally and personally, wouldn't you say?
I wholeheartedly agree, and remember, it's a journey, not a destination. There will be bumps along the road, detours, unexpected challenges, but by being intentional and proactive, and by learning from the experiences of others, you can create a career path that aligns with your values, your passions, and your definition of success.
This has been such a rich and insightful deep dive. I have to say, I'm feeling pretty inspired. If you're feeling inspired too and want to continue exploring these themes, make sure to subscribe to Voices of the Soul. We have new episodes every week filled with thought-provoking conversations just like this one. And if you're looking for even more inspiring content, be sure to check out Shauna Pelage's YouTube channel. You'll find videos on everything from career advice to personal growth to finding your purpose. So as we wrap up this deep dive into career regrets, we want to leave you with one final thought. If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of career advice, what would it be? Let us know in the comments, and until next time, keep diving deep and keep striving for a career that lights you up from the inside out.